The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Eastlink Community TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Gwe, Jalasi, Deloisi Julie. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Julie Pellissier-Lush. I am currently PEI's Poet Laureate, and welcome to Voices of Epekwitk on Eastlink Community TV, devoted to celebrating the rich history of the First Nations people on Epekwitk, or PEI. In the coming weeks and months of this program, we'll celebrate our culture and speak to the people making a difference in our communities. Our first guest today, I'm so proud and honored to be able to welcome Drew Bernard from Lennox Island First Nation. Now, Drew Bernard was born in Lennox Island and grew up there. And currently, his new projects have been working on a greener future in Lennox Island First Nation. Now, this young man has an amazing story, and we were so happy that he would be one of our first guests on our show. So I'm going to now let Richard introduce himself.
Hey, Nindeluisi Gipo Makuno. Hello, everybody. Uptilasi and welcome. My traditional name is Eagle Dancer, and my non-traditional name is Richard Lush. And Drew Bernard has been a very much loved one of our lives, as he is our relation, and he makes us proud every single day with all of his accomplishments and everything he does as an active role model, mentor, and great friend and family member. We're very thankful for him to be our first guest today in this new and amazing experience and project that we're working on with Eastlink. So for today, we have a few questions for you, Drew, and I think we'll start off with our first question is, what work are you doing for your community right now?
Well, good day, everybody, and thank you so much, Julie and Richard, for having me here today. I'm very excited to be able to share my work with everyone and get everybody excited for a greener future here in Lennox Island in the same way that I'm excited to be moving forward with some very exciting projects. I guess I'll kind of start with a little bit of my backstory, just in how I got to where I was. I went to university, and that didn't, like a lot of young people, it was a very big learning curve, and that didn't really work out for me. And so it was time for me to refocus, and I ended up moving to Alberta, where I worked in oil and gas for 3 years. At the end of that, I really felt the calling to come back home and start working in my community and take the knowledge that I've gained in my short years after high school and bring that back to my community and help us move forward. So I moved back to Lennox Island First Nation, and I really seen an opportunity here for us to be moving towards a greener future. So I took the energy systems engineering technology program at Holland College, where I learned so many different things about renewable energy and how to apply that in our lives to be able to see the future that we all want to see for our children. And that brought me into doing a project and working here with Lennox Island First Nation. I'm currently employed as the energy lead here in Lennox Island First Nation, and I basically am handling all the different avenues that we have in moving towards a net zero future. It's very hard to, there's so many different opportunities for us to be able to move forward. There's not just one thing that's going to get us towards our goals. It's a conglomeration of many different things that we need to do to make sure that we are going to be able to hit the targets that we want to hit in that time. So I did some work with a contractor from Halifax. They came over. They were called Natural Forces, and they really helped us in identifying the opportunities that we have in front of us. They did an opportunity assessment, and basically that outlined all the different avenues that we have to success. Maybe some of the things that it helped me realize some strengths that we had and some weaknesses that we had in Lennox Island, and really helped me to identify what may be the best path forward. In doing that, we did some community engagement. We opened up some dialogue and communication with many different people in the energy sector here in Prince Edward Island, including the PEI Energy Corporation, Maritime Electric, Summerside Electric, the Wind Energy Institute of Canada in North Cape, and various funders like Indigenous Services and ACOA to really help me really cement my plan as I move forward in doing these projects. With that being said, I recently completed our opportunity assessment, and I'm now working as the energy lead, and I'm trying to implement the things that we realized during that initial assessment. One of the things that we really wanted to take a look at and make sure that we formulate our plan behind is the 4 pillars of the PEI energy strategy, those being power generation and management, biomass and heating, transportation, and energy efficiency and conservation. I had to look at my little thing. So we really want to make sure that, like the PEI government, we are addressing these 4 pillars to make sure that we have all of our bases covered as we move forward. We can't go forward with power generation and management unless we first make sure that we are as energy efficient as possible, and we're not trying to supplement power that we don't need to be supplementing. So with that being said, I made some dialogue with Efficiency PEI, and we've had a very fortuitous relationship between the two of us. They've been very helpful in assisting us in doing some efficiency upgrades, and we're soon hoping to be installing a lot of different energy efficiency upgrades, such as heat pumps, upgraded insulation, and things like that, to really address our energy efficiency before we move forward with power generation and management. With that being said, it's very hard to do a community system right now, as there's no legislation that'll allow me to disperse the power of a large energy system throughout my community. So we're identifying an opportunity right now to just to fill our roof at the school with solar panels, and have that as our first project on Lennox Island, as that'll move to in a net metering agreement with the province, and that'll move to at least offset the power of our largest our power sucker at the school. And we're really excited to be moving forward with education and things like that for the children that are at the school, so that they can learn about a solar system going on their building that they learn in, and provide education for the young generation. I feel it's very, very important to have the young generation as included as possible in something like this, as all this work that I'm doing is for them. And I really want them to be as included as possible as I move forward. So I'm really working hard at getting our energy efficiency in place, working to get some rooftop solar systems moving here in Lennox Island. And I have actually identified some opportunities off island for us to possibly move into doing a larger scale solar operation through a power purchase agreement with either the province or Maritime Electric.
That's amazing, Drew. Oh my gosh, so much information. Now, we will continue our conversation in just a moment with Drew, so please wait for just a minute and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You are watching Voices of Epekwitk on Eastlink Community TV. We are having an amazing discussion with Drew Bernard, and I am ready to be asking the second question for our amazing guest. What are some of the exciting things you see coming up in the future with your role in your community, Drew? I know that you alluded to a few things in the last segment, but I think that there's so many opportunities that are going to be coming to Lennox Island through your role there, and I thought this would be a wonderful time for you to explain a little bit more about that.
Well, I'll begin by saying the future is bright, and when you're working in solar panels, that's a very good future that we like to look forward to. there has been so many opportunities that have been presented to us that may have not really been opportunities even 5 years ago. There's been so much support and money flowing in from the government to be able to kickstart renewable energy projects, not only for Indigenous people but for communities across the country. And it's been really fantastic to see how much they've been putting in Indigenous involvement for these projects and making sure that we have access to the same opportunities that other people in other communities would have. Um, so in terms of what I see in the future in my position, I guess I'll start with just short-term goals um, that I'm really hoping to accomplish. And that's, of course, making sure that we have our energy efficiency as great as it could possibly be here in Lennox Island, and making sure that we get that work done. There's so much work that has yet to be accomplished, so it's going to be just a huge accomplishment, even finishing just that part of the project to be able to move forward. Um, I really hope to see some rooftops, if not more than just a few rooftops here on Lennox Island with solar panels on their roofs, and I'm really hoping to see see a big project that we can be proud of on Lennox Island. And I really want that project to be 100% Indigenous owned. So in my future, I definitely believe that I will be seeing a 100% fully band owned system put here in Lennox Island. I would like to create our own complete microgrid here in Lennox Island, where we can not only generate, but also be in control of the power that we generate and be able to disperse that amongst our people. I'm really working very hard to ensure that this system is something that we can be proud of as an entire community. And hopefully we'll be able to possibly reduce costs. That would be the biggest goal of all. I'm not sure if I'll be able to swing that, but really hoping to have the people in our community buying power from the community to keep all that income in the community and be able to increase our own source revenue. That's very, very important for us to be able to chase our own source revenue. And I believe as we move towards becoming a sovereign nation, it's going to become ever more important to be able to generate our own power, to be in control of our own fate, and be truly sovereign. I really believe that there's such a great opportunity here in Lennox Island to be able to do something like that, just because of our geography, like being an island and being our own nation. I really believe that there is such a great opportunity there for us to really split off and make our own system. Of course, that being in conjunction with Maritime Electric and the province. We really want to create our own system, but also collaborate with everybody else that's in the industry and make sure that it's not something that just we are proud of, but something that everybody in the energy sector in Prince Edward Island and across the country can look at and think that we did a great job. I would also hopefully like to see an off-island system put in place. I would like to. We have some property near near Highway 2, close to Ellerslie, and we're really hoping to be able to install there a system that you can charge your car there. Lots of car chargers, a gas station, and I want to have people come here with electric vehicles and charge at our charging stations while they look at solar panels and know that the sun is powering their car right there on the spot. I believe that is such a great opportunity for us to just be able to access that traffic that moves along the highway. I think that's super important for us to move and really use that space to the best of its ability. It's such a great opportunity for us. I guess after that, yeah, I really in the long term hope that we're operating our own system here, that we're operating in an off-island system. I would really like to see us move into harnessing wind energy as well. There's just so many opportunities for us moving forward, and I'm very, very glad that I've been able to have the opportunity to collaborate with so many people in the sector and feel truly supported as I move forward in making these dreams become a reality.
Drew, I know you have a lot of history of working out west in kind of the oil fields and everything out there, and that history there. Now, what the experience there, what made you kind of create this passion to working in the green energy project here?
Well, there was a few factors that that factored into me really wanting to take that experience home to my community. Um, just one being the opportunities that I had seen for Indigenous people in Alberta in terms of working in energy. We don't have access to oil and gas, but we do have access to solar. We do have access to wind, and there's a lot of people that were getting jobs out there that were from the reserve, and they were getting all these opportunities. And I felt that we didn't really have those same opportunities. Take in fact the point that I moved across the country just to be working there. I felt like there just weren't the same opportunities, and also I worked doing cleaning of oil spills. I've seen firsthand some of the just the dirtiness of the work, and just all the machinery that they're running out there. There's a lot of emissions that go into even just the extraction of oil, let alone the burning of that oil later on. And I just really felt like that wasn't the future for us, and that wasn't the future for Canadians as a whole. I really felt that seeing all that, just how dirty working in that industry was. There just seemed to be, there must be a way to do this better. There must be a way for us to be able to live the same life that we're living without harvesting all of that from the earth.
Now we'll continue our discussion with Drew in just a few minutes. We'll be back with Epekwitk, Voices of Epekwitk on Eastlink Community TV.
Up Jalasi. Welcome back to the Voices of Epekwitk on Eastlink Community TV. I'm Richard Lush, and we're continuing our conversation with Drew Bernard from Lennox Island. Now, our final question here. What are some of your favorite memories of growing up in Lennox Island?
Well, I have a lot of fantastic memories growing up here in Lennox Island. It was such a beautiful place to grow up, and surrounded by so many friends and family. Um, I cherish so much of the childhood upbringing that I've had here, and the relationships I've been able to make. But I have a few memories that I guess would stand out above the others. One of them just being St. Anne's Sunday. Growing up every year, it just feels like there's such an energy in the air just from when you first wake up. Um, Drive up the road, and seeing everybody just getting their things set up in the morning and figuring out who's doing what this year. Um, Moving that through all the events, and having like Miss Lennox Island and people giving out all the community awards, all the way through to usually later on going out on a fishing boat and watching all the fireworks. That day really holds a special place in my heart, and really every year makes me feel so proud to be from here in Lennox Island First Nation, and just to see everybody in my community so happy and getting along. It's such a special day in my heart, and is one of the memories that I'll definitely be cherishing moving forward, and looking forward to the many St. Anne's Sundays that we are going to have in the future.
So for all of our viewers here watching Eastlink Community TV right now, could you explain to us what St. Anne Sunday is, and perhaps maybe a little of the backstory of St. Anne?
Well, from what I know about St. Anne's Sunday, St. Anne was the patron saint for the Indigenous people. So a lot of our First Nations communities all across Canada usually have their churches dedicated to St. Anne. There's a big one in Quebec where a lot of our elders would go to for St. Anne Sunday, because they have a huge event there every year, probably not so much since COVID. But we have had one on Lennox Island since the early 1900s. People would paddle across in boats to come and take part in the events that happened. And there was women's groups that would come together to provide all the food and all the things that were needed for the event. But what Drew is talking about is the current events, where it has evolved, and it has become still something where our community gathers and celebrates, right, Drew?
Yes, for sure. We sure do celebrate. We, if there's one thing that the Mi'kmaq are good at, it's at gathering and celebrating as a people and coming together and celebrating the life that we have. I guess another memory that I have that I hold very dearly is setting day every year here in Lennox Island. Fishing lobsters is really a way of life for many people here in Lennox Island. It is how many of us make our livelihoods, and many people that are special to our heart. They take off that morning, and they set sail, and we don't. It's always, there's always a risk that goes towards that, and it's really um, it's really, I guess it gives you a little bit of anxiety, but also just a lot of pride to watch your friends and family go out to make their livelihood and be working so hard. Um, and it's always just been such an exciting thing to get see all the boats going out and gathering, and then basically they get a call on the radio that they are allowed to leave port, and seeing all of them put their boats in drive and take off to go make another livelihood for another season, and bring home copious pounds of lobsters. It's just such an exciting time of year, and I'm really excited to see that happen again this year.
And I
Oof.
think there was
Still,
just
still got a
setting
couple
day
minutes.
for the crab fisheries here on the island, at least in our First Nation communities, I'm pretty sure.
It sure is. The snow crab industry is actually something that has been growing exponentially, and we're very lucky to have more access to that fishery this year, with the band, and there's also even other fisheries that, of course, are involved here. That lobsters aren't the only way that we make a livelihood here. There is snow crab, there is oysters, there is many different kinds of fish. Fishing as a whole is just a livelihood of many people here. And even in terms of me doing an energy project, it was very important for me to remember that um, that the fishing industry is so vibrant and great here in the world-renowned Malpec Bay. Um, when I initially did um, when I initially did my opportunity assessment for energy, one of the things that came up was perhaps doing tidal energy, or putting floating solar panels on the water. And basically, at the end of that assessment, we came to the conclusion that the Malpec Bay is not something to be touched. That is very sacred to us in the way that we make our livelihoods, and it is something that is off limits in terms of doing any kind of energy project here in Lennox Island.
That is amazing, Drew. Thank you so much for all this amazing information. I just thought one more thing. Are you going to be taking part on setting day this year?
I sure am. I never miss a setting day. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh. Well, thank you so very much, Drew, for taking the time to come and talk to us and share all this amazing information that is so important for Indigenous and non-Indigenous people all across PEI. We appreciate your wisdom, and just like to say to everybody, Walalio, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us today on our Voices of Epekwitk on Eastlink Community TV.
Belalio, thank you, Julie and Richard. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today.
On behalf of myself and Richard, we look forward to being able to gather and share more voices here from the island. So, Lalio, and thank you.
Gojo wakana, gojo wakana, gojo wakana, gojo 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 gojo wakana, gojo wakana, gojo wakana, gojo